Hello, I'm Erin Marcus, founder and CEO of Conquer Your Business, and I want to welcome you to Ready Yet? If all you needed was a step-by-step plan of what to do, you could buy a book on how to succeed and you would be all set. But here's the rub. You'll never do what it takes until you become the person it takes to do it. The Ready Yet podcast is dedicated to those who are ready to become the person who succeeds, ready to become the person who steps into more, and ready to become the best version of themselves. In the I'm Ready interview series, join me for inspiring conversations with people who figured out who they needed to be in order to achieve their dreams and were brave enough to be that person.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Ready Yet podcast. We're doing another interview in our I'm Ready interview series. And I am so freaking excited to introduce you to Katia Rave. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it!
Rave, so I just like to call her Katia Rave. And once you hear her talk for like 2 minutes, you're going to go with that anyway. But I wanted to try my French. I was introduced to Katia by a mutual, we'll call him a friend because we get to do that now, Larry Winget, when I was talking with Larry about who do I need to meet? Who do I need to have on? Who do I need to interview? Katia was one of the first names that came out of his mouth. And through, oh my God, we had to fight hard to meet. There was a honeymoon, there's time zones, there's technology. The universe did not make this easy.
Yeah, but you know, when we want something, we make it happen, right?
Make it happen. So here we are. So why don't you do, and because we just had, once we connected, we've had such a blast, and I just can't wait to share it with everybody. So why don't you do a little bit of a more formal introduction, tell folks who you are and what you do, and then we can get into your story.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me and for dealing with the honeymoon and the technology and all of that. But my name is Katia Rave, or Katia Rave, however you want to say it. I help entrepreneurs to generate lead, to maximize profit, and especially to be seen on stage with a speech that converts into money in the bank. I always joke, then I speak 3 languages. I speak French, English, and money.
Nice.
So that's it. That's really the big picture of who I am.
Nice. So a question for you, and we'll just get right into this, because what I really want to show people is, you know, the tagline for the whole thing here is you won't do what it takes until you become the person it takes to do it.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into what it is you're doing now.
Well, I failed majorly.
Fantastic. I'm always happy to hear other people go through that.
But this is it. What you just said is the important part of what I teach. Is a lot of time we hear all of these coaches, all of these entrepreneurs out there who are like, it's easy, you can make so much money, but we don't hear the backside, which is, you know what? It's not easy. It's hard, and it's sweat, and it's blood. Just showing up here today was a hard work to make it happen. And if we don't see other people, or we don't hear that other entrepreneurs have failed into some of their endeavor, how can we really succeed? Because then we feel like we take it personally. We're like, oh my gosh, I am the failure because I'm the only one. I don't see anybody fail on Facebook. I don't see anybody on Instagram who talk about failure, and therefore I'm the problem. And this is truly a problem that I see right now in the world. But my failure put me where I am today.
And it's so good to hear you say that, because I agree. It doesn't have to be complicated, but to claim that it's easy implies that it happens overnight, and that you don't have to put in any effort, and you don't have to put in any work. And you kind of alluded to it, if not just said it outright. It's what we see in society today with the so-and-so influencers.
Correct.
And not seeing the truth of the matter. And we get in our ways so much already. And now you go and try to compare yourself to somebody else's highlight reel.
Right. And we don't. I think we do that because it's so much easier. That's why we don't push through. It's an easy way out. It's an easy exit. And then we can blame all of the other circumstances beside taking responsibility.
Absolutely. I think that's one of my, I know that is one of my very, very big things as well. So tell us a little bit, you mentioned it, you brought it up. What were some of the things that you had to overcome to get to where you are?
Not to take things personally.
Oh.
Number one, I had a major spa, and I was very successful previously into the world of hairstylists and hairdressers and all that. This is how I came in this country. And I came to work for the hairdresser at the White House about 28 years ago.
Okay, how do I not know that? Because that's just like a neat.
I don't talk about this part of my life too much because everybody wants to know the same question: who was in office? And right now, it's such. I'm like, I don't even want to look at the at what's happening. So I was so successful into that world, and I decided to open a spa. It was my baby. 3,000 square feet.
Wow.
Gorgeous. We had up to 15 employees at one point, and we could not manage to make money. And I couldn't understand.
In DC?
No, here in North Carolina.
Oh, in North Carolina. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where, why can't we make profit? We have the best product, the best employees, and we can't do it. And this is where I had to close the door after 5 years. And I have to say, I took that failure personally. I never wanted to have a business again, never wanted to go into business. And this is the part we're missing. All the success before suddenly was erased, right?
Yeah.
One failure, and I didn't look at what was in the past. And I decided to go back to school. Like everybody, let's avoid everything. Let me go back to school. And I don't have a degree in this country. Everybody wants a degree. So I went and I got a bachelor in fine art. And I actually became a photojournalist. I am a published photojournalist under a different name. I was very successful, but here's the problem. I was with amazing photographers, amazing graphic designers, amazing people in the service-based industry. Mm-hmm. And I realized they didn't know how to run a business. And I was like, okay, well, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And then it came back. But then I had this imposter syndrome of how dare I am giving them advice when I just failed at a business.
Right.
Does that make sense? So I took about 6 months. I hired a coach and then took 6 months to say, what happened? What went wrong that all of these businesses were successful and this one didn't work? And it was a very easy answer. All the foundation that you have for one business does not always work for the other business, as my ideal client changed.
Mm. Yeah.
The foundation in itself, the strategies were the same, but I didn't realize then the hairdresser ideal client and the spa ideal client, very different. One is common service, the other one is luxury.
Yes, absolutely. That's so true. And isn't it amazing? And this is, though, a teachable moment here. There's so many lessons in that realization.
Yes.
And you can take the business lesson of, what do you need to assess as a business owner and how often do you need to assess it? Big lesson. Number 2, you are unable to see this stuff when you are buried up to your eyeballs in alligators. It is sometimes way too hard to see this for yourself when you're in the pressure of the moment.
Yes.
So you have to have that external help.
Yeah.
And then just like what you said, this is such a tiny little tweak. And this is one of my big things, is the difference between success and failure can be 1%.
Oh my gosh.
And you can't take that personally, because it really can be that little.
Correct. And that's what it was. It was a tweak. And if I would have had a business coach at that time, they would have pointed out to me. And from them on, I was like, oh my gosh, I never want anybody to feel the same, because I am very smart. I am very talented at business. I know my stuff. And I was like, this is what I'm going to teach now. And this is this is really how I came about to really develop it into, this is what I want to do, because I did love running the business more than I did being, like really talking to the clients all the time.
Sure. That's my favorite part too, is running the business. And the way that I phrase what you were just talking about is people who've had success before, because I work with a lot of people who used to be in corporate, like they had big jobs and they did great at their jobs and now they're entrepreneurs. And I call that, the problem is, I'm smart, why isn't any of this working?
That's right. That's right. And this is one of the things that I see a lot of clients who come to me at the beginning, is they're so good at their craft.
Yes.
Then they think business is going to be successful. If you don't understand business, if you have one little part missing out of those foundation, out of those strategies, you end up running a business alone and not connecting with your client, not connecting to their pain point. And that's truly what happened to me. And it would have been so easy to have it successful. And sometimes we focus, I want the best website, I want the best thing. Like me, I had the best product, best line, didn't get us anywhere.
Yeah.
We're missing the point,
Right. And it's unfortunately easy to do.
Yeah. So we need to talk about this value. For me, it's a big part. I want people to know that, because they look at me now on social media and they see someone who's very successful. Well, that success didn't just come overnight.
Right. So going down that road, because we talked about the big challenges and the ugly underbelly side, what are you most proud of at this point?
I think what I am the most proud of is I was the keynote speaker in Rome, Italy.
Oh my gosh.
And I was able to take a whole week, and I flew my daughter with me, and I went, did my talk, gave my call to action, and went to the Colosseum, went to the Vatican, went on a food tour. And that probably was one of the mark for me, who said, I love my job. And I love my job all the time. I love that I can pick up my laptop and travel. I mean, you and I had our pre-interview when I was at the beach, right?
Yep.
So this is the best part of working at home and being a coach. And the second thing is, I'm very spiritual. So for me, I feel like God has given me a gift, and I want to make sure that that gift get passed on, and I don't hold it for myself.
Sure.
I feel like it is my duty and my job to give it back to other people.
And one of the things that I love about your approach, and our mutual friend Larry had complimented me in this way, and I will share that with you because I see it, and I just laughed when he said it to me, but there's something powerful in being willing to get up in front of people and show them all the mistakes that you've made, and then teach them, don't do what I did.
Don't do it the hard way.
Don't do it that way.
Right. I so agree. It not only it's powerful, but I think it shows authenticity. And for me, I do a lot of speaking, right? So when you do that, you end up being in front of an audience, and in a way, some people are not going to like your style, and then some people are going to love your style. And this is one of the biggest thing. It's like when people see you being authentic, you really attract the people who are appealing and your ideal client, because everything is people know
it's all aligned without
you.
And it's so interesting. You've got to find it interesting, not just coming from other culture, other country, but also you and I are a similar age, so we've seen this change over the years. It's so interesting to me that so much of what is put in front of us is the teeny little glossy highlight reel. However, what we have learned actually works is the opposite, is the authentic version of ourselves.
Right, very much so. People who work with me, they know I don't do shiny diamonds are not, I see that all the time on stage. It's like people are going to say the same thing. And I'm like, it's a lie. Those are lies. Those are shiny diamonds, and they're there to attract you because they know then for $59, you're not going to go and complain for 3 hours and get your money back. But success is not that easy. It's not complicated, like you said earlier, but
It costs a little more than $59 worth of investment.
correct. You can't expect with $59 investment to make 7-figure, or you can't expect to, like if you're on a diet, like send me 3 months worth of cardboard box.
Right.
Deal. And I'm going to eat that. Of course, I'm going to lose weight. Of course. Who can sustain that,
Right.
And this is one of the biggest problem I feel then I see in entrepreneurship. It's people are just blind. They want to hear the shiny stuff because it's appealing.
Because it's appealing and it makes us feel better. So with our theme of who you have to be and who I've heard you talk about being, persistence.
Yes.
Realistic, but at the same time motivated to change it.
Mm-hmm.
It's how, one of the things that I've had to learn, how can I hold the vision of the big dream
Yes.
and act in the present reality at the same time?
Right. I love that. Persistent. Yeah. And driven,
Driven.
who goes with that, and consistent.
Yeah.
I did a speech yesterday, and in my speech, I said, if I just show up on my wedding day and never show up in my relationship afterward, I don't think my relationship is going to work, and consistency, showing up. And it's something with your budget. If you can come to your budget meeting, but if you actually don't peak, don't record your finances or your expenses on an everyday basis, it won't get you anywhere. You have to be consistent on many things to be able to get there.
Awesome. Well, I love it. I think ending there is great, great, great advice. So for people who want to connect with you and learn more about you, we will put this in the show notes. But how would they reach out to you?
They can email me at Katia@KatiaRave.com, or go to my website at KatiaRave.com. You can find me on all social media at KatiaRave.com. I make it so easy. That's why you have no excuses for not connecting with me. And this is one of the things. I don't need, again, no shiny diamonds. No, if you want to connect, which there is a lack of connection right now in the world. If you want to really connect, I make it very easy.
I love that. And we will just end with that. Make it easy for people to connect with you.
Correct. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. This has been awesome. I've learned more about you. I can't, we'll have to do another interview because I have more questions.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Ready Yet podcast. I get so motivated by the amazing accomplishments of the remarkable people I meet, and I'm excited to be able to share some of their stories with you. You can find more episodes of Ready Yet at your favorite source for podcasts or at conqueryourbusiness.com. And if you've already decided that you are ready to become the person you need to be to achieve your big goals, feel free to reach out to find out how I can support you in your efforts. Or check out the Work with Erin page on the Conquer Your Business website. I also invite you to share this podcast with anyone you know who loves to learn and be inspired. And if you're so inclined, I'd be absolutely grateful for any reviews you'd like to share as well. Thanks again for joining me. This has been Erin Marcus, hopefully inspiring and helping you to go conquer your big dreams.